Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, Cash's Collectibles. I'm Cash, and today we are reviewing the SV Action Peter B. Parker from Into the Spider-Verse by Sentinel. This is a figure that I've been wanting for a while, ever since it came out. I think 2 years ago, maybe 2021, 2022 about. And this is, in my opinion, the best Spider-Man figure on the market. As you can see, I'll show you little parts of the packaging. It has an insane amount of accessories. It comes with a pose, or like one of those stands that claw around his waist. I opted out for the gargoyle piece, so there was a more expensive version that came with like a model of a gargoyle that you could pose him on, but I wasn't really into that. I probably wouldn't even use it, so I opted out. It was like an extra $60 or something like that, so I was just like, no, forget it. I'm perfectly fine with the standard edition. You see some poses right there. I'll pose this guy in a million different ways towards the end of the video, but yeah, there we go. So let me just get this thing unboxed and I'll show you what he looks like. So this is what he looks like out of the packaging, kind of all wrapped up in plastic. All of his accessories are right there. Towards the back, you see his webs and the stand. So yeah, let me just take this guy out and we'll take a look at the accessories. So here are the accessories. Starting from the top left, we get all of the web effects. So we get some straight shot ones, just like this. They're actually pretty long. They'll just stick right into, that'll focus. They'll just stick right into his hand right there. And we got a couple of like triple shot ones. So this would be good if you're having him stop a train or something like that, right? You know what I mean. This is the stand. I think looks pretty nice. It has like the glass. The glass pops out to slide in the actual stand part. The instruction booklet is right here. I do know that inside, you can open this real quick. Inside of the instruction booklet, we will find the newspaper that he holds. This is a very weird angle, but yeah, his newspaper's right there. You do have to make it yourself, which is kind of weird. Kind of a weird choice, to be completely honest. But I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. Some head sculpts we got for Peter B. Parker. We have
Bill Parker is a business executive.
I don't know why my Alexa did that, but here we go. We got Peter B. Parker right here. Kind of has this scene, which is when he's eating the burger from Into the Spider-Verse, and this is kind of a more confused, worried look, I guess. This is the only other Spider-Man head sculpt we get, which I might pose him with because I love this head sculpt so much. It reminds me of the time, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is the time where Doc Ock, the girl Doc Ock, gets hit and he goes, oh, or something like that, and his eyes get wide. And this tiny little guy, we have the little glasses sculpt right here that you can, for example, you can slide onto. I've actually never done this before, so I have no idea. But there you go. Yeah, you can slide the glasses onto any of the Peter Parker head sculpts. So that's a neat little, that's just one of the things that makes me think that this is the best Spider-Man figure, just because of all the little stuff you can do with it. This is the Peter Parker from the start of the movie that died, the blonde one. There we go. There's a nice little... And if you are displaying him as Peter Parker, you get a slimmer version of Peter, not a very defined abs and much leaner compared to Peter B. Parker in the movie. He's kind of let himself go. I think I'm gonna pose him like that, but I'll have to see. I'll have to play around with it a bit first. The hands we got are two normal web shooting hands, right? Just your average whipping. Got a coffee mug for one of his hands. We got more human-like hands. This one, I've seen a lot of videos on this figure, and a lot of people are confused as to what this hand is. This is the hand of him going like this, and he's like eating, and he's like sucking his finger because it has like ketchup on it. But everyone just sees this. So I mean, it is a weird way to display. I mean, I could totally put this on my Spider-Man and just have him flipping everybody off. But yeah, so he does have his two hands. That this is his eating hand, but you know, it's multi-use, right? So you can do whatever you want with it. Got some web crawling hands, which I do like a lot. I like how it kind of flattens out towards the bottom there. Obviously both sides. These are the web holding ones. So this is where he would grab here. This is where he would grab one of the webs. You just put it in there and it would look like he's holding it. Congratulations. And we got some more expressive hand out. This isn't really web crawling, or wall crawling, but it's kind of more hands out, which I do like a lot too. This one took me a while to kind of figure out what it was for, but it's for the newspaper if you decide to make it. There's these little grooves right in there. If we just want to, yep, that you can kind of just slide that paper in. So yeah, he could be holding the newspaper just like that. That's about it for all of the accessories. So let me bring out the actual figure. We'll talk about it. We'll do some articulation, and then we'll show off some poses. And so yeah, this is it for the accessories. So here he is. This is exactly how he comes out of the packaging. There was just a little bit of plastic wrap on him that I took off. To be honest, he's a little hard to kind of get standing on his own because he does have super tiny feet, which is just because of the way Spider-Verse was drawn. It was the way it was animated, that it's very exaggerated, like very skinny, like calves and his ankles, and just like this, the area of his foot is not that big, so he can't stand by himself as well. But as you can see, this is Peter Parker, Peter B. Parker, because of the little bit of mass right here. One thing I do want to say is this kind of piece right here, this hip piece, it's kind of hard to see, but this hip piece right here is loose. That's just the way it is. It comes like that, but that's just one thing. It just moves around a lot, because that's strictly for articulation, which another thing that I love about this figure is that it kind of sacrifices its looks for articulation, which in my opinion makes it more likable. I like figures that look like figures. I prefer figures that look like they're made to be figures. If I wanted something that looks straight out of a movie, I would get a statue or something like that. So I love the way that he looks, and even for sacrificing all the looks for articulation, he still looks straight. He still looks like he's straight out of the movie, which I think is amazing. There's texture all over him. You see the little, it's hard to see, but you see all the little texture on the blue and red. His web lines are painted in perfectly. Honestly, it's just super well made. So yeah. Okay, starting with articulation, the head does go 360 degrees around. Like all other figures, you get about that much up and about that much down, which is amazing. If you've seen some of my other toy reviews, you barely get any head movement on any figures, like at all. So that's just amazing for me. And side to side, you get about that much and about that much that way, which again is also, it's unbelievable. The shoulders, I really like how simple they're made, because if you see right there, they're just ball joints. It's just one big ball joint right there, and you get full 360. You get about that much up, yeah, I mean, you get all the articulation you need for a Spider-Man figure. You get a bicep swivel right there. The elbow goes as far up as you can. He can touch his own shoulder. He can touch his own shoulder, which I can barely do. This guy's more flexible than me right there. I can't do that. I don't know if that's just a me thing or like a person thing, but I can't touch. These parts of my arms just don't touch. So that's amazing. As you can see, the neck is articulated completely separately from the head. It's like a whole different part in the chest, which is also great. The waist, you get like a chest swivel right here, which does come off because you do get to remove these parts. And you get a waist swivel, also 360 degrees. The hips, you get about that much out. You don't really get much back, but you don't really need back. Here, it's kind of hard to articulate. You get about that much forward, and back you do get, and you could definitely push it farther, but I just would rather not. One thing I do like about it, as I was saying, it kind of sacrifices looks for articulation, is this, there's an indent in the back of his thigh, which is purely just so you can get his leg all the way up there, right? So, I mean, it looks weird. You're not really looking at the back of Spider-Man, but it looks weird, but that's only because you can get that all the way up, right? The ankles are last. You get a full 360 degrees. Get about that much up, that much down, and a full 90 degree of the toe, which is great as well. So yeah, I'll give this articulation a 10 out of 10. There's really nothing I would change or improve on it. It's perfect. As I said, this is the best Spider-Man figure on the market, and I'm so happy that I'm getting to play around with it right now. So that's just great. So let me just put this into a couple of poses. I'm gonna start with poses in just this normal Spider-Man. I'll do some poses with different head sculpts, starting with Peter B. Parker, and towards the end, I'll switch out the torso and go to Peter Parker. So yeah, there you go. All right, here's the first pose I put him in. It's kind of like a midair punch. I don't know, but I'm using the stand, which I think is crazy. I had to move the tripod a bit just to make it a little higher because he gains a lot of height with that. But I think it looks awesome. That looks so cool, just spinning around like that. I'm excited to put this guy into some more poses, but I felt like this was just a good starting point of the whole. I don't know. It comes straight out of the movie. It looks super great. I think it looks awesome. So yeah, there we have the first pose. I wanted to get him into a more Peter B. Parker. So that's him using all of the unmasked, ungloved pieces. So this is kind of emulating the scene where he's eating the burger and he's licking his fingers, right? So that's kind of what he's doing in this one. Kind of ignore the stand there. It's just kind of supposed to be that. He's chilling. You know, yeah. So that's an example of how you would use the Peter B. Parker head sculpt. Personally, I don't think I'm gonna be using any actual head sculpts, but I'm more than happy to show them off. So yeah. Here's another pose. I didn't want to put him onto the stand just because it doesn't really make sense in the context that this pose would be in. But this is kind of like a confused. I wanted to obviously show off the other Peter Parker head sculpt and the glasses that they gave us. So yeah, that's this one. Those are his hands that are just kind of out. He could be like questioning Miles or something. I don't know. You could have fun with it. I think after this, I'm going to be switching it up to the Peter Parker version, doing some more Spider-Man themed, more Spider-Man poses. So yeah, there you go. So here we are. I switched everything to the Peter Parker version. I didn't really change the hands because I felt like I didn't really need to. But this is more of like a cocky, more confident Peter Parker. There you go. First things first, the abdomen, this part of his body, I like way more. I'm gonna be posing him like this because I want him to look the most like comic book Spider-Man as I can, which obviously this is the way to go. But yeah, I love this look way more than the much more, massive version of Peter B. Parker. But the blonde hair is great. I like the smirk, the slight smirk. Kind of have him waving right there. But yeah, so let me just switch out this guy's head sculpt, and I'm gonna do a couple more poses on the stand. Here's a pose that I like. It's kind of him getting hit, and he's flying backwards. He's flailing his arms and legs. His eyes are wide. I love that. I think that looks pretty cool. Just the I don't even know what to call it exactly. Just like the emotion of the character of the figure is just unbeatable. This is why I think it's the best Spider-Man figure you can get. So there you go. I think we all knew that the second I saw these pieces right here, I could not go the video without putting him in this iconic pose. I think this looks so cool. It looks so awesome. I might pose him like this on my shelf. But I mean, I don't have this much room on my shelf. It just looks so cool. This is the scene in Spider-Verse when he's going, yeah, I'm Peter Parker. I did this and I did that, or whatever, right? At the very start of the movie, and he's holding together the bridge, I think it was a bridge, yeah. But yeah, that looks so cool. I kind of put his head up a bit so it looks like he's struggling, or maybe down. Could look like he's given up almost, I don't know. But yeah, I think that looks super cool. So that's definitely a pose you can put him in, and that's definitely a contender for the poses, for one of the poses I'm gonna put him in. You can kind of make his legs a little more flail like that. That looks so cool. Let me just kind of zoom it out for you there. There we go. Yeah. All right. I definitely prefer the more extravagant Spider-Man poses like this one. He's upside down. His legs are higher and over his head, and he's thwipping, and I don't know. It just doesn't look. It doesn't look. I don't even know what the word is, but you know what I mean, right? Where it's just like. I don't know, but you can really do that. You can really do what I want it to do with this figure. You can make it do whatever you want, right? So this is definitely a pose that I might put him in, some upside down stuff. So those of you who are familiar with the comics, especially McFarlane, know this is the McFarlane pose. I try my best to replicate it, where it's kind of like his leg is up next to the the web, his other leg's down, his hand is pointing out, and he's looking straight at it. That's kind of the gist of the McFarlane pose. Let me just zoom in right there. Kind of like that. I think that looks great. Very, it does what I want it to do, and I could pretty much make it do anything I want. So yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 figure. I mean, as you can see, like, I can just pose it in any way I want, and it looks absolutely perfect right there. So yeah. And before I go, I wanted to put him into one kind of not action stance, idle stance. And I was originally just going to have him standing straight up holding the mug, because I don't think I'd used the mug piece yet. But then I decided I could spin this around and have the mug going up while he was upside down. So imagine, like, he's right there. There's a wall, a ceiling. There's a ceiling right here, and he's hanging upside down. And, I can kind of move this a bit just like that. Yeah. I'm going to have so much fun making this thumbnail later. Like, I'm going to put him in so many poses. So, like, there you go. Yeah. I think this pose looks pretty awesome. Kind of get a full 360 right there. As you can see, the mug at the top of it's right here. The bottom obviously doesn't show. I'll just take that out right now. The bottom is not there, but there's the top. So I think it's awesome. This figure really makes me happy. It feels like it's ripped straight out of the movie, and it's unbelievably easy to pose. It's a 10 out of 10 figure. This is probably going to be my favorite figure in my entire collection. I highly suggest you picking this up before Across the Spider-Verse comes out. Or you can wait, because there might be a new Sentinel Across the Spider-Verse coming out, but I doubt it's going to be as good as this one from, I think 2022 is when it came out. So yeah, there you go. Let me just put this guy on my shelf and then I'll end the video. Here he is in the Spider-Man section of my collection. As you can see, it's kind of all decked out now. There used to be this big empty spot kind of right there, which is now filled. I got all 3 Funko Pops for No Way Home. I've got comic books and these 2 Marvel Legends, which I got hanging from there, which I think is an awesome addition. I got this guy hanging right below. And now I have probably the coolest figure in my collection. I'm gonna play around with the poses. This probably isn't gonna be the final pose I put him in for the shelf, but as you can see there, he does look pretty awesome. So there you go. And remember guys, if you did enjoy the video, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below any figures, sets, toys, whatever you want me to review in the future. Remember to check out these 2 videos right here. And I'll see you guys next time.